Hey you guys, what's up? This is the Anime Blaze coming to you with another video. For you guys who don't know who I am, I'm the Anime Blaze, reviews, everything else, that kind of stuff. But today I'm going to be doing a video response to Anime Green, talking about how to get a non-anime fan into anime. And he brought up some pretty good points. Um, in case you haven't seen it, the original video, I'll be putting the link somewhere, in either in the description and in the video, just in case you haven't seen it yet. So the things that he pointed out that you need to keep in mind are great animation, solid story, and cool characters, fighting and action, and an anime show that sort of fits all the categories. Now, pretty much, I agree with a lot of the points he said, but I think that I have a few more ideas that you also might need to keep in mind. A few things that he said. I'm gonna just elaborate a little bit more, elaborate a little bit, um, and just go over a few of the things. One, great animation. You have to have a show that has great animation. Um, I mean, like he said, it will throw people off because they'll think, okay, if the shows are so great, you show them something from way back when, they're not gonna actually be able to. Well, in a way, it's kind of like on YouTube. Whenever you see a video that's in like HD quality, you're gonna want to watch it. But if you went to watch a video that's like 240p, or yeah, it's like 240p and it's like all muffled and everything's like all foggy looking and everything, you're not going to want to watch the video. So that's sort of the same thing kind of applies to anime. Also got to keep that in mind. Um, for me, I chose number two, plot consistency, because you can have an anime show that has a storyline and everything like that. But if it doesn't stick to that same kind of storyline, I mean, there's filler episodes and stuff, but that's something totally different. The main thing that you have to focus on is if the plot doesn't stay on point with what the storyline says, people aren't going to want to watch it. And a show that I can definitely say you should not recommend, I would not recommend it to show your friends as a first anime show, is FLCL or Fully Cooley, because while that show does have a storyline somewhere in there, um, you won't be able to find it. Quite honestly, you will not be able to find it. And if you can't find it, uh, 9 times out of 10 says your friend or whoever won't be able to find it either. So, the plot's got to stay consistent. It can't be all over the place. And the characters have to be kind of good too. Also, with what Adam A. Green said. Um, Three, fighting and action. For me, I chose fighting and action plus comedy. Um, these are kind of attention grabbers, from what I thought. The main thing is, it doesn't really matter like what kind of gender it is to me, really. Uh, Sometimes it does apply, guys sort of like action more than, something that's like all fancy and everything. But action does tend to grab a lot of people's attention. So the first kind of anime show that you really want to try to show a person is maybe an action show, because it grabs their attention mostly no matter what, and they'll most likely be on their toes, keeping up with what's happening in the situation, in the fight, battle, or whatever's going on. So yeah, I mean, there's like Death Note and stuff too, but I wouldn't recommend that as a first anime show, because it's kind of confusing to stay with the plot a little bit. But you know, that's later on. Um, you know, while action is good, it's not always necessary. Now, but what I mean by that is the best thing for that is to just keep the person's main interest in mind. Like TV, movies, whatever else, anime has some of the same genres that everything else has. We have horror, sci-fi, um, romance, magic. Well, yeah, magic, because Harry Potter and whatnot. Um, Historical. those kinds of things. Um, so we have sort of those same kinds of things and concepts relating to anime. For example, let's say um, I don't know, the person likes romance, but and it's a guy. They don't really like it. Well, let's just say they don't like romance, but you want to show them something that's kind of like on the border, borderlines, that's kind of good and not too much romance, but still has good, enough action to sort of maintain the plot line and everything like that. For that, I would recommend Romeo X Juliet. Decent. Sci-fi, there's Ghost in the Shell or Cowboy Bebop or some other stuff. I'm not actually sure how good the animation is in Cowboy Bebop. If you can see it for yourself and think if you want to show it to them, I for one would recommend seeing that for somebody who likes sci-fi too. And if they happen to like movies like Transformers, there's mechs. There's mech anime shows that just happen to have sort of that same vibe to it, but just a little bit different. Still in the same field, just a little bit different. If they like stuff that's like um, a show that's mostly for girls or something like that that has magic, the whole magical girl kind of setting, it's like magic poof, uh, kind of to rival a show that's been on TV. I think it was called Winx Club or something like that. Sort of along the borderlines with that show, the whole magic kind of fitting setting with the all that. It's kind of hard to describe, but yeah, that whole setting. We have Sailor Moon and Madoka Magica. Madoka Magica is a little bit of the same storyline. It's in the whole field of the whole magical girl setting, but it has a little bit more of a dark side to it. I can vouch for that. For horror, there is Higurashi for kind of like newer stuff if you just want to see blood, gore, whatever. But if you want to see something that kind of has that old style horror movie kind of feel to it, I'd recommend Boogie Pop Phantom. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I have seen a few episodes of it, and I know how the setting of the show kind of goes, and it really does catch that whole kind of vibe. Now, for me, we're just about at the end of this video here. But for me, you're gonna hear what I think are some pretty good starter anime shows for anybody who's hoping to get a friend, family member, or whoever into the whole anime genre. Keeping in mind all the stuff I just went through. Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist, and Angel Beats. Angel Beats, especially with the great animation, it has action plus comedy. Action and most of the shows I see that tend to grab most of the attention for the whole thing of, well, attention grabbers for starters in anime and all that tend to have comedy and action in it. I don't know, it's a win-win situation, which I've noticed anyway. Um, Angel Beats grand animation, romance, fighting, action, comedy, great plot consistency, all of that. Full Metal Alchemist, I'm kind of iffy with the animation quality. Mostly, I probably go with Brotherhood for the whole HD sense and all that because it's on Blu-ray. Uh, has sci-fi elements and all that stuff to it. Great. And Soul Eater has a whole kind of horror feel to it, but not exactly horror. It has comedy, action, horror, all that good stuff in it. But another great thing that I'd say would be able to help you distinguish what a good show would be for somebody to watch is to pick a show that has all these settings, that all these qualities that I've said, plus what Adam A. Green said, plus great music. Great music almost makes for a good show. So, with that being said, this is the Anime Blaze signing out, telling you guys to check out Adam A. Green's channel because he really is a pretty cool guy. Has a lot of great videos up there. He really is underrated. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later.